Hi guys. Hi little pig. Hi sweetie. Oh. I think Theo is the best pillow also. He really is.
Just need to be a little bit higher on this side.
So you just bought that rubber stuff and you're custom making a little threshold.
Yeah, I had to buy 2 of them.
Because this door is too wide, yeah.
And we also have a bigger gap here because of the tiles.
Well, we used to have a piece of wood on that cement, but it wasn't adhered very well and it kind of came off after a while.
Cut this with just a hand metal saw. And then I'm putting this piece of wood and I'm going to put a tiniest bit underneath to raise this up.
Are those 2 different kinds right there?
Isn't that funny? They didn't have the exact same color. They only had one. They're the same, but they fit in the same slot, but they're slightly different. So
well, it's slightly higher.
This side I need a little higher, so I put it on this side, but I still actually could go a little higher. So I'm going to put just
because everything's a little bit wonky.
Everything's a little bit wonky. This door is not exactly square. It's an old door. We've got the sides now straight with these new.
Scott put the new
these new hinges on.
These new hinges.
So that's fixed a lot of it, but yeah, it closes straight now.
Well, and just things take forever.
Yeah, so. Nothing's standard, so I have to make it.
So up in my rafters was a pile of old work that I did in school. And I thought I would show this on a video. Obviously, I wasn't taking care of it. I mean, it's dirty, it's dusty. It wasn't protected up there. Now this would be graphite, so I could tell it was pencil. I have no idea. This would have been for, I mean, I don't have any idea what the assignment was. This was for a class called illustration, and they would give us different things to do, like maybe a book cover. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. It was like the 1800s. This was done on illustration board. And obviously I had just done different designs, like taking women's faces from probably old movie posters or something. I know that this was from Turkey, one of the mosques. This looks like a crazy dragon that I made up. Vines, look at that little weird guy. A girl. Biscuits, I bet you this was probably something from France. So anyways, I just thought I would show. Will I keep these for posterity? I guess. This is a watercolor. I think I did this in school. I did take watercolor for a semester. I remember this was the model Stajibu, which Richard painted. Richard did a gorgeous painting of Stajibu that is one of my most favorite paintings ever. This is not from the time that he did his portrait at the Palette and Chisel. I mean, this looks like it was probably done at school. We used to have models pose on Fridays. I'm saying this because of usually if I was at the Palette and Chisel, I'd be looking up at the model. So the fact that I am eye level or maybe slightly looking down, I know that it was at a different session. Oh, this looks like a sketch of that piece that I did. So this was probably sketching it out and figuring out the design. What's this? Oh, it looks like I was writing things down here. Holy cow, and it didn't show up. No, I didn't add that down there. I either forgot or didn't have time. This is another watercolor. Yep, I remember this was definitely when we would have models. I'm trying to lighten it because I think the video is making it too contrasty. I mean, it's kind of funny. He does look like a teenage football player with gigantic shoulders. Oh my gosh, so funny. Like, I have no memory of doing these things. Oh, this is another illustration. I was really into, I mean, I was never a ballerina, but I was into like Mikhail Baryshnikov. I was into dance. I think this is oil. So these are all just different images of like probably famous dancer that, you know, this was before the internet, so I would have had to have gotten these from probably like magazines or something. I don't know if that's Mikhail Baryshnikov or Nureyev, but and just like different assignments for illustration. God. Oh, illustration class. Okay, 1991 probably. Okay, another illustration. Oh, yep, a little bit of damage. Oh my gosh. This is watercolor, so it's obviously kind of like a, I kind of made that lion pretty ugly, but he's obviously Uncle Sam. Oh, so this is done by, well, it says Nelson Alexander Ross for fundamentals. Whoa, 88. Oh my God. So he had taken photos of me and then had given me a lot of the assignments that he did in school. And a lot of them I gave to my nephews because they were into fantasy art. And I guess he's a pretty well, he goes by Alexander Ross now. Pretty, oh my gosh, yeah, it got a little bit damaged. Okay, I'm not great at keeping things safe. Whoopsie. Oh, what's going on? Melodramatic enough for ya. Okay, well, he had given me a whole bunch of things that he had done from photos that he'd taken of me for like some of his assignments. I don't even know what that means. Oh, there's my name really faint. Oops, is that his signature? He had obviously burned the edges, and this is a kind of a charcoal drawing with a little bit of a tone behind, like a warm. I could tell he was on watercolor paper, and he had slightly toned the paper with a warm wash, and then did this. It looks like compressed charcoal. I mean, it's a very, very, very dark charcoal. All right, this is a another one of my assignments. What does this say? Oh, it just says third period when Cohen was the teacher. It's pretty dirty, but I was so into, so when I was young, I was really, really, really into Czechoslovakia, and I was really into like Constantinople. So you can see like the turrets in the mosque, and then just how you would try and do a different illustration. Now this is done on, you know, watercolor board, but this is definitely oil. Just, I mean, I guess probably imagining what you would do for a book cover or movie cover. Maybe I gessoed this. It looks like I had gessoed it because I see brushstrokes of gesso underneath, and then dry brushed a lot. And oh my God, it's so funny to see these things. Oh, okay, very early painting from the palette and chisel. I can tell just because of the lighting. I was not a fast painter at all early on, and it took me forever to be able to get down to the face, the mouth. And so in school, they would have us do these different types of illustrations. So this is another graphite, very, you know, outliney, and then just sort of deciding where you want your contrast, and see only making the darkest darks right here on the edge, right next. I mean, these photos would have been all taken from magazines. Like I said, before the internet, where did we even get these images? This is a watercolor, just a brown. I think that this is an image from the actor from A Christmas Carol, from, you know, Christmas, not Christmas present, right? Not Christmas past or future, Christmas present. Oh my gosh, looking at these old oil paintings kind of creep me out. I mean, obviously, way too dark. Halftones are way too dark. Yeah, look at where I put the head. the head is just like everybody else. That's why when I mentor you guys, I do the exact same thing. Look at this. The face is literally not even in, well, if this was the center of the painting, I mean, the face is slightly even to the right. I think mentally that's what we do. So her whole head is going off. I mean, I guess you want some room in front of her, but completely bad composition. Oh, here's another painting of Stajabu. My paintings used to always be very orange and brown. So these would be when I was like 20, I guess. Oh, I loved Katharine Hepburn. I loved old movies. So this was definitely, I had gessoed. I see brushwork on this illustration board. And then I did like a burnt umber or brown wash. And then, picked out, cleaned up, with like a brush or, taking out, I guess that you call that reductive, or I don't even know. Okay. Oh, so more, I was so, it's falling apart. I was so into old movies. I loved old movies. So this was probably another, they always wanted you just to try different techniques. So obviously there's some kind of weird gridding. I have no idea how I did that. But Greta Garbo. So this looks like it is colored pencil. Maybe it's pastel pencil too. No, it looks like colored pencil with a little bit of some kind of maybe chalk, on a toned board. This looks a little bit chalk. Okay, this is a, it's got some, whatever that is, damage. So this is just a charcoal. And just a, George O'Keeffe. I talk all, so this would be pen. So squiggly lines. How do you do like these kind of illustrations? I don't see anything. Ink and pen, George O'Keeffe. Okay, another watercolor. Oh, it's dirty. Oh my God, I have so many watercolors. No memory of doing these. Why was I doing them in watercolor? So I used to have a whole bunch of these Christmas ornaments. When I was growing up, they were all like, and early on, I did lots of still lifes with these Christmas ornaments. And so she's like peeking through. Another girl, probably on a Friday. It is fascinating. I mean, I don't even know how I would approach a watercolor now. I mean, I guess the fact that you might only have an hour or 2 hours. I mean, this had to be more than an hour, but it does look very, very, very loose. So it is curious. Oh, early still life. It's taped to a board of dolls. Very, very hard edges. But I will clean these up a little bit and I guess store them better for, I mean, who wants these? I don't know. For posterity, whatever. Scott's putting wheels. So I had this ottoman and I just, of course, I'm so selfish. I just said, Scott, would you put one more project on your plate? And I said, could you just put a piece of wood down there? That way, you know how I feel like in the studio, it's like you're trying to figure out how to use every inch. And so I thought, well, guys, wasted space under my ottoman. And I was thinking, well, what if I have all these like tripods, and I even have a couple more, but they're like, it's not using this space to the best ability, right? So I thought, what if I put my tripods flat underneath there, and I also have like this little carpet that kind of hides everything, reusing that space, and then I could get a storage unit that probably has little plastic drawers and I could put paint in there. But, yep, I feel bad now asking him, but I'm trying to use up as much You know, little things as possible. It's gonna look good though. Scott is trying to install this himself. He's done it twice so far, one at his studio and one at our house.
These are called mini split.
Yeah, most people have these, yeah.
So
we are just getting into the modern technology because I used to have a kerosene heater right here. What were they called again?
A
monitor heaters. And I used to have a big oil tank outside, and it made noise. It didn't work that well. It was expensive, especially kerosene now. So
burning carbon, so we got our power from electricity, so
from the sun, yeah. So anyway, so I'm gonna help you hold something.
This I've wired it all up and got it ready to install.
Did you learn this from YouTube?
I just look on YouTube how to install it.
Yeah.
It's easy. You can go on. And
you created a hole in my wall
to the
outside.
This was $800, I think. And then the line set and other things was maybe another $100, so it's about $900. Maybe it was $750. I can't remember. And this is a one.
Because the different sizes cost different. And this is kind of a medium small.
This is small. It runs at just 110 regular, like what you plug into an outlet. The one we put in the house is 220, so it's twice as powerful.
Right.
So this is about 750, maybe 800, 900 total. So it's great. And once you drill your holes and get everything all set, run your lines and power outside, if you ever need a new one, you can just get a new one.
Well, and I'll show too, but you also have to make a platform outside for that, whatever's in this big box.
The outdoor unit sits outside.
And you have to, it has to be level, it has to be protected.
It's level, so I just bought a plastic little platform, which is what I use at my studio, and I put a little gravel down, dig down, just to make sure that it's solid. If it's not solid, it'll just make a little noise because it'll be vibrating a little bit. But these are really quiet. So.
That's also the great thing, because the monitor heater that used to be here, you would hear the fire burning up. It would like make an ignition noise. And it would go for a while, and then it would turn itself off, and then turn itself back on and turn itself off. So yeah, I don't think they even make monitor heaters. You couldn't even get people to come fix them. I mean, they just kind of disappeared. And so I'm sure almost every single person in the world has this or something similar, and we are just finally,
when we were in Rome,
finally coming to it.
Tons of these outside on the other buildings, and everybody had just mounted them to the walls out the outdoor unit.
Well, they have to, because they don't have space like a yard.
And it uses so much less power that it's much more energy efficient.
And how heavy is this?
Let's see. I don't know. This one I would say is about maybe 25 pounds.
And so it's going to be okay for you to lift that?
Oh yeah,
and hold
problem. I'm just going to have you put this through. I already wired. Take it off. You wire everything, and then here is the power cord, and then there's a drip thing. I've made this so it'll go simply through the wall. And just the condensation, it'll drip out.
Now, is this what it came with? This sort of wrapping material?
Well, it has they have this in there, and then you can wrap it. This is what it is. It's just like Teflon sort of tape, so it makes it waterproof.
Oh, okay. So that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to like wrap it like a bandage.
And I wrap it now so that I can slip it through this, and I drill the hole. It has to go slightly downhill. So that when the water that condenses,
it doesn't want to come back in that place.
And then I put a pipe through here, which came with, and I put this on it. And then I figured out where this needed to go so that these go on studs.
Scott, if you ever need a job, you can actually be an HVAC person now.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a very good job.
Yeah,
people make good money doing this.
The reason I'm doing it myself is because when I first looked into it, and the same thing now, it costs 3 times what this costs to have someone install, have an actual.
It's kind of like almost, I don't want to say the word scam, but it's
like $2,500 to $3,000 to have them put one of these in, and I can do it for $900. The only thing about it is these come with a 5-year warranty, and if they're not put in by a registered official person, that voids the warranty. But I mean, if this breaks, do I want to go through the whole warranty process? I just buy a new one. I still haven't even spent.
Well, we got burned by a guy who came and installed yours in your studio, where he does this for a living, and then on the weekends he does his own thing, and he then kind of said at the last minute, I'm going to charge you more. than what you agreed on.
Well, and he wasn't even certified, so the warranty didn't do it, and I did most of the work.
Well,
anyway,
he said
so
he was certified, that he had to go get
wasn't.
his certification, but because he wouldn't sign the papers, and it was kind of blackmail.
Yeah. So
Because he's like,
I
well,
was
if you
like,
don't pay me more, I'm not going to sign it. And you just were like,
yeah, no,
forget
I
it.
realized, okay, no, I'm just.
You
gonna
have
do
to learn it
myself.
yourself.
Yeah. And,
That's too bad.
but
Yeah.
they're not too bad if you're handy. So you know, you can watch a YouTube video and it walks you through the exact
And
steps.
this
of somebody
brand
putting
is
it in.
called Sunville.
This is Senville, and this is called the Lido, and we have, so this is a 110 unit for Sue's.
And you just ordered this off of Amazon.
I order Amazon, they just deliver it. So yeah, it's a lot of people here are switching to that from
Right. Well, we live in the country, so we don't have all that modern
the
stuff.
cost of kerosene to use those monitor heaters has just tripled in price. You know, it's getting so expensive. So I
Right.
think most
All right,
people
I'll come here to
switch
help you. All right.
All right.
Scott, did you think that you were going to be a manual laborer? I mean, it's amazing that you literally do all this by hand. So you're just trying to make a base, right?
I'm gonna put this around the pad here that's gonna go on, and then I'm gonna put the gravel.
Oh,
in
this
here.
paver base.
Yeah, I'll put that inside it, so that it'll be a little bit higher than the ground, so water can't get into it, and if we get snow, it'll be a little higher.
You know, this is the stuff that we should buy when we have to repair some of our path, because this would be better than the sand, because I think the sand moves. And this,
Yeah.
I think this would probably be a lot more.
Well, the path doesn't move.
It does a
it's
little.
It's when the
Moles.
when moles or when tree roots go under it. So that's what I had to do, is cut the tree roots.
Well,
They'll
but
push
this
up.
stuff looks really good.
They'll push
Quick
up even
right
concrete
paver
roots.
base for walkways, because we have tons of brick, tons and tons of it.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to go in and paint the inside of the door right now.
Oh, great. Sounds a good plan.
All right.
So I got this all leveled out for the pad.
That looks so nice.
Attaching it perfectly level.
So that's like a plastic base that the outside unit goes on.
Yeah, and I'll be bolting it onto this.
So when you did yours in your studio, did you make this little like brick bed?
No, they kind of did it at like the last minute.
Oh,
and,
so you hired those people, right?
I hired those people.
The ones that, kind of tried
They
to
did a lot of
scam
things
you.
right. In fact, they just set it on there and they didn't bolt it or anything. I was like, you can't leave it like this, it can move. And they're like, oh, well, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I actually drilled holes quickly while they're there, and I put zip ties to hold it to it, which is good for now. But and then I put a little bit of gravel back here so that water won't collect back there.
That paver gravel that you bought.
Yes, this paver gravel. And when I did this, by the way, I did the forest corners, and then I used my level to make sure they were all level. And then when I dug out, I just put these down and then put a board on them and smashed them down.
And so now you're digging a trench?
I'm making sure that water will go here and it won't collect underneath this.
Okay, because my kind of drain pipe is
There
right
wasn't
there.
anything here, so this just kind of went out into the grass, and it kind of went this way.
Well, and the reason why you're putting it right there, because originally you were thinking about putting it here, is because of the, there's a pipe that...
Yeah, for the line, and this will be a little bit more protected too from wind and sun and things, but it would have been okay over here, but it really wasn't quite. I would have had to get extra.
You would have had to kind of
longer.
attach an extra pipe, which you just didn't want to.
And the other advantage, I would have done that if it was a much better place. The other advantage is that your window is over there, so these don't make a lot of noise, but they make a little noise.
Oh yeah, the
and
hum.
This will actually, since we've got R30 insulation and thick walls,
Boy, all of a sudden traffic is going by.
You won't hear this at all.
I find that that's an interesting universe energy that sometimes whenever I'm trying to do voiceovers or we're trying to film, literally all of a sudden traffic, where you won't have any traffic for like 20 minutes. The universe is saying, nope, traffic is coming.
On this, then I put pavers down here so that as the water comes out here, it won't go over to the base and it'll be directed this
Okay,
way.
and then you're just sort of digging a
digging
little
this
bit of a
down
trench to kind
to
of...
give it a little bit of a pathway to go.
Yeah.
Then I won't have to worry about water going into that or collecting it there.
Oh, okay.
So we're
It's pretty
almost,
chilly today, but...
It is, yeah. We're getting there.
You're getting there, and then the next thing you'll bring over an electrician to kind of look at our box.
Just have the electrician because that box is a little different.
Yeah, that box over there.
I was just going to put a 220 thing in it, but it's actually got two 60 amp circuits, which I think we put in originally thinking we might run power to my studio. But I'm going to have him take those out and just put a metal conduit. It'll just save me.
No, it's amazing what you're doing. I think it's like you're kind of thinking of these as workouts. So instead of like actually working out like on a bike or weights, you're like, okay, I'll just dig in the ground for hours.
I want it to be done better than the other people had put things in. So I research it and I just am doing it so that it's really...
Okay, I just thought I'd document. Thanks, Scott. You're working so hard.
This is so fun.
Oh, is it? Good.
We're getting to the studio, right?
Yeah. Yay. They're doing a little work across from me. I'm at Bethabara Park. It took me a long time to even know how to say that name. Now, where we live near Winston-Salem, it's kind of well known, this Moravian settlements. Old Salem, Bethabara Park, Bethania. There's all these like little settlements here. And one of the things why we loved Winston-Salem when we first started to think about moving here was just how charming. They were really into their history. And so this is like a free place where you can go hiking and where they have a beautiful church and they have like Christmas stuff and history about the Moravians that came here in the 1700s. And so I just had a little bit of time and I thought, I'm going to show you guys this. I don't think I've ever shown you Bethabara. It's sort of a tongue twister. Bethabara Park. I'm pretty sure that these gardens are all taken care of by, I think volunteers. Oh, there's a lock here. Yeah, because I can imagine. You know what? I have walked in here before, so I just don't know if they're starting to make some of this private. Because yeah, I'm always thinking, you always think about like the public gardens, right? Like, well, people could just go in there and grab their own little vegetables if they wanted. There's some like slightly archaeological things where you know, buildings had been taken down and you could look in and see how they lived. And they recreated some old cabins. It's a really sweet little area. And they have like an old cemetery up there called God's Acre. And you can hike up there and there's all these different paths within that little mound or small hill, kind of switchbacking back and forth. Oh my gosh, look at that. I've never seen that before, with the white sort of kind of veins. This is the middle of November, so a lot of things are not blooming. And they've tried to recreate some of these fencing, like that tall fence. And there's a beautiful church just behind this that is really sweet. And Scott has actually painted it a few times. Medicinal garden, community garden, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is volunteers. Historic Bethabara Park, 1753. Welcome to the historic Bethabara Park, restored in 1990. This garden is the only well-documented colonial community garden in America. Holy cow. The original frontier garden of the Moravian settlers was established in 1754. So, you know, individuals would have plots and take care of them. Gosh, I wonder when you can get in there though. Those are some pretty healthy cabbages and vegetables for November. Oh, I even see squash right over there. They've recreated these little cabins, the village. We reached the little house in the evening and at once took possession of it, finding it large enough that we could all lie down around the walls. 1753. So here's a picture. Now, if anybody's driving through Winston-Salem, see they kind of dug out certain areas so you can see where old houses used to be. And these particular types of fences are, you'll see these all over the area. Storehouse, shed, and lodging for strangers. Okay, so I guess, you know, instead of hotels. I know I've been in that building before because that door is closed right now. But let's see if we can peek in one of these. Hans Wagner Cabin, reconstructed. I mean, obviously they don't have the mortar. I mean, I'm gonna say this is about 15 by 12. It's not huge, and obviously the roof is not very tall, and that looks like something that you might use for baking, and that's probably what would be for animals. This would probably have been a trough of some kind. Oh, they boarded up the windows for this. Dwelling house and cow house. Oh my God. Within weeks of their arrival, the brothers found the need to build a guest house for the strangers who would come seek services of the doctor, lawyer, and tradesman. So, gosh, yeah. So this is definitely reconstruction. Be a great little playhouse. Oh, let's see what this says. Oh, Bethabara Tavern. Accommodating strangers was difficult until the Brethren built the first tavern in 1757. This tavern served until 1775, when the new tavern was opened on the east side of the extensive community gardens. Gosh, I hate the sound of construction. They're building like a new little road that kind of connects one road to another, so you don't have to kind of go out of your way. But there's even other paths over there that lead towards, there's like a river over here. So there's lots of little paths around here, which is really nice. There's more of these kind of buildings. There's 2 more or 3 more up here. Smithy and Christ Pottery. There's all kinds of little, this is actually just a beautiful park to walk through. They have all kinds of festival thingies, like in September, I think they have an apple festival, which we've been to. And I know in Christmas they have, now near us, they have all kinds of like candle kind of ceremonies for Moravians, and what's it called? Oh my God, there's a name of it, where everybody gets a candle. I'm not Moravian, so I can't remember. But oh my gosh, look at those trees. And I know that Scott and I have been inside this church when they've done something for Christmas, and you know, they would dress up like the Moravians. You know, very fun. And Old Salem downtown, they dress up all the time. It's kind of like a miniature Williamsburg. And it was the very first thing that Scott and I saw when we first even looked at Winston-Salem. We were driving down 40 and we stopped off, and I think we literally stopped off at the visitor center in Old Salem and thought, holy cow, this is the most charming little place. So quaint. People dress up and you can go into all the different houses, like the apothecary. This is the visitor center right there for Bethabara. And this is the beautiful church on the other side. Let's walk over to it. Isn't that so cute? And if you come here at different times of the day, you know, the light will hit on the front or the back, But I just think this church is so paintable. It is so adorable. And definitely in the fall when these trees are all colored, just is spectacular. I think that is such an adorable little cabin that they redid. The interesting thing about this area is they have this single lane road. So people have to wait over here, and if there's somebody over here, then they have to wait. And it's sort of like they take turns. And I guess they just never wanted to make it into a 2-lane. Gremmenhaus. I guess, I don't know. Meaning congregation house in German. So, oh, maybe if you do that QR code, you'll be able to learn about it. Oh, sesquicentennial. God, what a long word. Sesquicentennial celebration, November 17th, 1903. Wow, that's coming up. So, oh, Love Feast. That's what it's called. With the candles. Love Feast, I think, where everybody gets a candle and they sing songs and there's organ music. It's really wonderful. Memorial marker 1806. In November 26, 1806, this marker was erected as a memorial to the beginning of the settlement of the Unity of Brethren Moravians in Wachovia. So I think that, I don't know if Wachovia was a name of an Indian tribes that were around here, but yeah, there was Wachovia Bank. I really have to research that, I guess. This was the second Gemeinhaus, or congregation house, built by the Moravians. Today it is the oldest surviving Moravian church in the southeast. Wow. So if you guys ever want to come through here, Old Salem and Bethabara host these love feasts, candle services during Christmas, and they sell out really fast. It's like people kind of wait to kind of get in line to do them. And I think it's just because it's such traditional. Organ music, and they always do it at night. And they even have like midnight services too. But no, Scott has painted this church, and I've always thought it'd be wonderful to bring friends to come do outdoor painting here. Because some could do just the trees and some could do the garden. But I think the light hitting this church at different angles is so wonderful. I was curious about this. These very, very tall fences. I guess they're called the palisade protecting Bethabara. So yeah, that's sort of like their fort. The way they would, protect against intruders. If you want to visit Bethabara, this is where you would go. They have like a historical information, like a little mini museum and an area in there, but this is all free, but they have lots of things that they offer. I didn't actually realize that they have tours of that church. I bet you they actually have services still, but for $4 and $1 for students, you can have a private tour and learn all about the history. Hey, sweetie. Hi, pretty baby. Theo was just sleeping here at the table next to me while I did a Zoom podcast interview. So adorable. Her little head was right here, just sleeping. I think you're kind of still asleep a little bit. Hey. Yeah, Daddy's in the other room. He's making himself dinner. Aw, baby. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. I just want the world to see you. You're so pretty. Okay, time for a nap again. I was just walking out to Scott's studio, and we have a full moon. Gorgeous, giant full moon. And I guess it's going to be the last full moon of the year. So Scott said that he was taking photos of some artwork. So before he packs them up, I thought I would quickly see what he's packing up. Walking down here, the moon is gigantic. I mean, it really is huge, and it's only like 6 o'clock, and it looks like it's midnight. So you just kind of varnished and are taking photos of things because you're going to send a few pieces off to the Medicine Man Gallery.
Yeah.
So this one, I love this one. This one was from Monument Valley, and you met this mother and daughter.
Well, actually, this isn't Monument Valley. This is
Where?
This is called Marble Canyon.
Oh.
It's right by Vermilion Cliffs there.
Oh, I guess I thought this was...
They lived in a trailer just when you go over that bridge that you see the deep canyon where the Colorado River goes into the Grand Canyon. Yeah, they're a wonderful mother and daughter.
They love butterflies, right?
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
This was in their very little.
I think
trailer,
it's so fun.
On the reservation.
It's a beautiful frame
up there too. Yeah.
We were looking for frames, and this is like probably like a 22 karat frame,
yeah.
Just gorgeous frame.
I've had this one in
30
my
by
racks
30
for so long.
Yeah.
And you just were like, oh, hey, let me send some pictures of some things.
No, this painting is amazing. I love this painting. And then this one, when I just walked in, you did this like charcoal, because it really was just a blank.
This was flat.
It was like a senso canvas,
which was like here.
Which looks like it was like a brown simple canvas that was sealed.
Yeah, and I've had this one in my racks for a long time too. This was, and this was just all blank. It looked kind of illustrative and graphic.
Right.
And just today, I just was getting things ready to ship to the gallery, and I just thought, I actually just want to add some abstract elements.
Yeah, no, I like it. I didn't really. I thought maybe you had like varnished it or sprayed it in something, but no, I think that's really, really cool.
This was varnished. Yeah. And then I just put some charcoal dust. I sprinkled some dry charcoal dust on this, and then I just splattered some acetone on it.
And I can tell that you did it slightly over the flag, but you didn't do it over the figure.
A little bit over the figure.
Yeah, just to kind of soften edges a little.
Because I wanted them to pop more, rather than having this.
No, I like it. I think that really works. And this was from the powwow in Idaho.
Idaho, yeah, Post Falls.
Yeah.
The one that you and I spent 3 days at. Yeah.
And so you're definitely sending this one off, and you're definitely sending this one off. I'm saying you're sending them off in stages, and then you're sending this one off, which is always love this painting, and I use this painting a lot as a teaching lesson for painting in limited palette. So this is literally just probably burnt sienna and ultramarine blue and white.
It's just burnt sienna and ultramarine blue
and white. She is from when we visited Cusco in Peru, and she's a weaver. And so we'd walk in, they would do demonstrations a lot in these places that would sell weaving and clothes. And so they obviously had a kind of like a skylight in this building.
Well, actually this was in that place that they sold weaving.
Yeah.
And I had this set up, and they had women demonstrating. They would come in from the farther off places to sell their weaving, to sell it to this place. But the place was more modern looking.
Oh, really. So you made that up?
And so I just simply made this up.
Oh, I thought that there was a skylight this whole time.
No, I just made that up, and I made the light back here up. I kind of based it on some of the huts and things that we saw in Guatemala, and I mean in Peru everywhere they have these where they have the smoke go out the top. We saw it in really all around the world, in Nepal and in Tibet. So I just love the figure of this, and this is more what their village would have been like. So I actually just made that up.
Wow, I always thought it was like, I guess I remembered it differently. So, but yeah, I love these paintings, and I think these are going to go perfect in a gallery in Tucson. And we'll do those other ones when those get shipped off too.
Okay.
I just wanted to come in here.
I'm going to pack them all up, in the next couple days.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, cool. Exciting.
Yeah.